want to take the time out to welcome each and every one of you to the Confidence Igniter podcast, the podcast that was designed to take you from basic to brilliant. And I'm your host today, and my name is Tamiko Green. Well, before we get started, I just want to send a shout out to all of those that attended the Confidence Igniter conference on yesterday. It was so amazing. If you missed it, you really missed the treat. Also, I want to send a shout out to all of the amazing speakers that spoke, that gave strategy, that told you how to get from one place to the other in your life, meaning walking into your purpose. So I just want to send a shout out to each and every one of them and let you know I'm going to have more events coming up. So hopefully you'll be able to attend one of them. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and let's get down to what we came to get down with here today. And that's the episode for today, which is titled BYOB. And no, I'm not asking you to bring your own booze, but I am going to talk about building your own bridge. I'm going to say that again. The topic is BYOB. Bring or build, shall I say, your own bridge. Yes. When I look back at those that have done some amazing things, and I think all of us do something amazing, but I just want to look at a couple of, or shall I say, three people that kind of stood out to me. One being Henry Ford. We know Henry Ford as the one that says, if you believe you can, or even if you cannot, right? Either way is true, right? So you can accomplish whatever you think you can or what you think you can't. However, we also know him for the one that created the automobile, right? Ford. But he also revolutionized manufacturing. So he built his own bridge. Then, and of course, there was those probably, I'm sure, that end up joining in. And then you have Bill Gates. He transformed technology. Yes, we don't, have the typewriter anymore where you just pack the old typewriter or the electric typewriter, whatever. Now computers, we doing the thing, right? And then we have Oprah Winfrey, who broke barriers in media. And I truly believe each one of these individuals and so many others they built a bridge. They didn't wait for others or, feel like, oh, it could never happen for me, or, thought of who they were or where they were coming from, their background. It probably, even if they thought about it, they couldn't have just allowed it to stop them, because if they did, they wouldn't be known the way they are today. Even though Ford is no longer here on earth, but that's all right. He made such an impact that he is still here in some form of fashion. So the question becomes, are you ready to build your own bridge? Are you ready to make an impact? Because see, it's easy to cry a river, or you can build a bridge and get over it. See, it's easy to cry a river of, man, I don't have the tools, I don't have this, I don't have that. Or even look at somebody won't help me, or whatever are the stories we have in our head, right? Because everything is based upon that story that you continue to tell yourself. It's those stories that keep us from building a bridge. It's the stories that we tell ourselves that can even burn the bridge that we did build down, because we go so far in life and then challenges arise and then it knocks us back down for some of us. Now, everybody is not that way. So if you're not if you is at a point in your life where you're saying, I can't, but yet you want to move forward, but I can't, or you feel like someone else should be doing for you what you should be doing for yourself, then I'm talking to you. But if you're the one that, hey, I got it going on, I appreciate, I can talk to you too, because we can always learn something from somebody, right? And even if you don't learn anything, you can always pass the message along to somebody that probably need it. But however, In life, we will have our challenges, right? We're going to go through some things, but we can choose to go through them, right? Or we can choose to allow them to stop us. We can choose to build walls. Now there's many walls that we build. And a lot of times we build walls, emotional walls that protect ourselves, to protect ourselves from pain, or protect ourselves from failure, protect ourselves from many different things. But the truth is, we don't have to protect ourselves like that. Just all you got to do is change that story that you tell yourself. See, I can truly say about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, before the conference, I had a health challenge. And I had the health challenge even the day that I was doing a recording. And part of me wanted to say, a part of me was saying, stop, just sit down. That's all right. Just we can't do this. We can't even have a conference. But then there was another part. Instead of putting up a wall, I told myself I can get through this, because what does bridges do? Bridges allow you to get across, right? So when you build the bridge in your life, you're helping yourself to get to from where you are to where you want to be in life. Because truly life is lived forward. And I say that all the time, that life is lived forward. You can look back to places that you cannot go back to in life. Okay, when I say places, I mean a period of time, a situation that you may have experienced in life, right? You can't build a bridge back there unless you go in your head. Right. So then that becomes a story, right? So it becomes this story that you tell yourself about that situation. If I coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? So depending on what that story is, that situation, that moment in time, we create these stories of if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, or, maybe that story is patting yourself on the back. Hey, I did the thing, right? So if you did the thing once, you can do it again, so that you can build a different bridge. Because at every stage in life, you're building in order so you can continue to grow. Case in point, when before computers, we had before personal computers, we had the mainframe, right? And we had typewriters, and we had just write it on a sheet of paper, right? So people had all of these files that wasn't digital, and Lord knows if the files got wet or disaster strike, well, you just lost a lot of stuff. And then they got to the point they was putting it on the little film or whatever art, trying to archive it. But we're not there anymore. We're in the technology age. A different bridge was built. Let's go back to before the car. We were horse and buggy, right? So we were using horsepower, true, but we were using horsepower differently. And a bridge was built. Because I don't think with where we are today, I'm not saying horses are not nice to ride because they just had the Kentucky Derby, right? But if you had to think about this, if you had to get on a horse and go to work from where you live now, and if you live right around the corner from your place of employment, well, then you don't necessarily have to even get on a horse. You can just walk. But let's say if you live 45 minutes out and you got to get on a horse to go. Don't you know it's going to take you more than 45 minutes if that 45 minutes was via an automobile? Because a horse ain't running as fast as an automobile. I never seen that happen. I ain't never seen a horse run 75, 80 miles an hour. Okay, but maybe somebody else have. I haven't. So it's going to take you some time. So the bridge was built transforming how we get around, even through the media. Made a difference, made a difference. So you were able to, for some that could not break through, regardless of your color or your sex, right? So it could have been in as a female, but opening doors, breaking barriers, building bridges. That's how we grow. We grow because we continue to move forward, you continue to build. You reach one level in your life and you build. Because if you reach a level in your life and you're like, okay, whew, I don't want to go no further. This is it. So now you're in a comfort zone that at some point becomes uncomfortable. Because when you think about a chick in an egg, okay, at some point it got to break through. Because even though it might be comfortable being in that shell, but at some point it's going to become uncomfortable and it has to peck its way out so it can step out onto a different kind of bridge. And so what I'm saying to you today is whatever it is that you seek in life, we all have something different that we're seeking, whether it's going back to school, you're seeking to finish your education, or you seeking to open a new business, or maybe you want to be a part of a sports team. Whatever it is that you're seeking, you got to build a bridge, right? To connect you to that thing that it is that you desire. Now, in the building, you got to have a strategy, right? So you can BYOB and not bring your own booze. You can BYOB and build your own bridge, but you got to have a strategy with that, right? So the first strategy is I want to be whatever it is, whether it's write the book, go back to school, whatever. But sometimes you got to have the strategy for the strategy, right? And I'm going to use an example that was was used at the Confidence Igniter conference. It says that way back when they decided to send the man to the moon, right? They say, hey, we're going to send this man to the moon. We ain't had no spaceship. Okay, we didn't have none of that. So the strategy was to send the man to the moon. But there had to be a strategy for the strategy. In other words, we had to have a strategy to create a vehicle that could go beyond Earth, right? That could go to the moon. So it was another strategy created. It was building a bridge, BYOB, building the bridge to get there. So in life, you have to come up with a strategy, or you don't have to do anything. So I suggest that you come up with a strategy to build the bridge. Because here's the thing, no one came to Earth without having some talent. Now, you may not know it. Okay. But then again, you might. Okay. But if you know it and you don't want to work it because it's too hard, tell me what's in life doesn't challenge you first. Because you might not remember this and I don't remember it, but when our mother was birthing us, and also happy Mother Day to all of the mothers. But when our mother was in that birthing room birthing us, well, I'm sure that wasn't easy. Wasn't for me. I got children too. So, but it happened. And so in life, and then for the mother, okay, that's one thing. But for the baby that was being born, you had to play a role too, because you had to break some bones to get out of there, or shall I say, separate some to get out of there. So all I'm saying is that in life, you got some choices. You can either cry a river or build a bridge and get over what it is that you were crying. Okay. You can make the decision to say, I'm going to move forward no matter what that moving forward is like. And then sometimes in that move forward, you have to take some inventory of who you moving forward with, because everybody doesn't have your best interest, and they don't see things the way you see it. And not that they need to be your friend or someone that you network with, but if you want to do something that someone is talking you out of, or telling you, well, you know what, you ain't did it in all this time, what make you think you're gonna do it now? If someone is looking out and looking at what's going on in the world and say to you, well, you know what, that's kind of crazy to start that kind of business because you ain't gonna make it anyway, you're gonna fail. How do they know? See, the only way you fail is that you never start. And then you don't know if you fail or succeed, you just never started. So when you have people in your life that want to see you move forward. You will continue to grow, and to continue to move. I give you an example. Remember, I said earlier that I had a health challenge that literally knocked me off my feet, clearly. But no one knew. None of my speakers knew that I was being challenged with my health. And one of my speakers sent me a text message and out of the blue and said, "Hey, is everything okay?" Because they hadn't heard from me. And I said, "Oh, I'm sending you an email this evening." Well, the truth of the matter was, I was so sick, didn't even think straight. But I mustered up the energy to get this email because in my mind, the show must go on, regardless to. Okay, I'm going through something, so I gotta build a bridge to get me out of. And the bridge was in my head, right? I had to get right in my mind to say, "You can do this. You just going through. You're gonna make it." Okay, but then that same speaker sent me another text message several days later and said, "Hey, I'm gonna call you in an hour." Okay, no problem. We get on the phone and we're talking. Now, here, this is how you know this is the right person to have in your life as someone to network with, to collaborate with, as a friend. They said to me, as through the conversation, to me, "All I want to do is see you win." Keep in mind, when I was talking to them, I was sick. I was masking the voice of sickness. So I'm trying to be the jolly person that they know me as, right? And they said it again. "All I want to do is see you win." And that touched me. That touched my spirit to the point that I said to myself, "Sickness, you no longer live here anymore. You have just got evicted. You just got fired." And that next day, I got up. I found strength that I didn't even know I had because I was going down. But I refused to drown. And so I found the strength to move beyond it and was able to show up at the conference, and not just show up, but dominate the space that was given for me. And also to impact someone's life. And so today, I come with the message of BYOB, build your own bridge. But let me tell you something. I want to see you win. I want to see you be able to do all the things that you desire to do. Now, I may not be able to see it with my physical eye. You might go onto my website and send me an email. "Hey, Tamiko, that message touched me. I'm about to make a change, a shift in my life. I'm about to BYOB and build my own bridge." You might. See, you might have felt what I felt. And trust me, when I said that all I want to do is see you win, trust me, that's from my heart. And I don't even know probably half the people that literally listen to this podcast. But I'm grateful that you do. And I really hope that this message, or maybe some other message that you heard, that you listened to, make you think. Like everything you truly need, you got in you. Now, maybe that right now in your life, maybe you've experienced some challenges that got you on frequency 107 AM. Because when you're on a radio, if you're listening to a radio, the AM stations don't have as much power in most cases as the FM station. So whatever it is that you were brought to earth to be, me, in my case, a speaker, okay, all I got to do is tune into that frequency. Why? Because it's already there. I just got to build that bridge that connects me to the frequency of me as a speaker, a transformational speaker, helping those to change the stories in their head. You have the power to build your own bridge because you hold the pen that changed the story in your life. You are powerful. Think about it. Where you are in your life right now. How did you get there? How? And don't do the blame game. Don't even think about, well, it's the government's fault. No, it's not. It's not. Well, it's your mama's fault. No, it's not. Whether you get along with your mother or not, she got you here because she could have aborted you. So if you got a grudge against her, today is a fine day to call her up and say, you know what, me and you might not see eye to eye, but thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for not aborting me. Thank you for having me. Regardless to what your struggle was as a kid or as an adult, yeah, I'm talking to you out there. The pen is in your hand. You can create a strategy to build a bridge that takes you to where you want to go, to be able to connect with the frequency of that you choose to be. Because whatever it is that you're supposed to be, trust me, it's waiting on you to connect to that frequency. It's waiting on you to BYOB. That's what it's waiting for. So you might be thinking, I don't know how it's going to happen. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The first thing you're going to do is stop saying, I don't know how it's going to happen, because let me tell you something. The mind is so powerful. If you keep saying, I don't know how it's going to happen, you shut your own mind down for trying to finding some way to make it happen. Let me tell you something, because there's an old song that says, your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. And let me tell you something. Your mind can be on the other side of town having fun while your body is laid up in the bed. So to tell me that, oh, I can't do it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because your body can be one place and your mind can be on the other side of town. Because the songwriters say, your body's here with me, your mind is on the other side of town, messing me around. That's what the song say. Okay? So what I'm saying to you is, you can, instead of saying to yourself, I can't, I don't know how, it's never going to happen for me. All of these stories, all of these negative stories that keep you grounded. Stop it. Stop it. Because you have the power to rewrite your own story. Because who's writing it now? You are. Who's writing my story? I am. And any parts that I don't like in my story, I ain't got to use no whiteout. Look, whiteout never worked really when it was there. Yeah, it whited it out, but people knew that you had whited it out because it was bull white. So people knew, like, oh, they made a mistake. They put that whiteout on it. I don't have to do that. I ain't got to use whiteout. I could just take the paper and just write, keep writing. I can backspace if I'm using my computer and blot it out, whatever. However, I have the power and you got the power. Don't give your power to somebody else. Don't give your power to the government. Don't. Because you can spend a whole day talking about the government. You can spend a whole day talking about what they're not doing and how they're not doing. Let me tell you something. You can take out time and start a movement to change things in your life, which in turns will change things in other people's life. We spend a lot of time looking outside the window as something someone else should be, we think they should be doing. Judgment, pretty much, right? But you could take that energy and find ways to do what it is that you desire to do and help those along the way. See, when I give events, these events, if whether it's donation or if I charge for tickets, if I sell tickets, the portion of the proceeds is always to go back to help somebody. So guess what? It doesn't matter what the government ain't doing, because guess what? I'm going to find a strategy, I'm going to build a bridge, and I can do it with the help of others. So whatever it is that you desire to do, let me tell you something. When you start to step into it and you start to build that bridge, BYOB, right? You start to step into that frequency of it. It's already other people's that's jiving on the same frequency that's going to be right there to invite you in to help you out. But guess what? I ain't good with the pity party stuff, so I know I can't help out the pity party. But you know what? I can tell you can rise up to the level, and let's work it. Okay? And that's something only we have the power to do for ourselves. No one can take you anywhere. You can listen to a podcast all day long. You can listen to all kinds of motivation. You can listen to whatever you want to. But here's the thing, your life is your life, and only you can change it. And the best way to change your life is not by looking at what someone else is doing. You don't control that. You can only control what you can control, and ask God to help you to move on beyond what somebody else is controlling. And I don't want to control nothing somebody else is controlling. That's their moment in the spotlight. Let them have it. Because I got my own spotlight, and I don't have to compete for somebody else's. My spotlight is my spotlight. That's I dominate my space. Okay? I'm building this bridge, okay? So you need to build your bridge and dominate your space. Because you know we like to dominate. But sometimes we like to dominate things that don't even belong to us. So I'm telling you, build your bridge and dominate your space. Be all you can be. I know that's a military slogan because, yes, I'm veteran, okay? And that's one of the slogans that I love. It would say, all that you can be. But my company commander took it one step further. He said, look, Private Green, you can be all you can be, but you ain't got to just be all you can be in the military. You should want to be all you can be in life, period. And I pass that along. Be all you can be. No matter where you're standing, be all you can be. BYOB. Start today by building your own bridge. Take back your power. Use your energy to tap into the frequency of where that purpose for your life is. Not looking at somebody else's purpose, not comparing, not looking at someone and judging, because that's a lot of energy in itself. So while you judging, you tearing down a portion of your bridge, or you got your bridge on pause. And let me tell you something, you can press pause on your life, but I guarantee you one thing, the clock won't press pause. The clock ain't gonna stop. So you can press pause. You can say, I ain't building no bridge. Yep. And depend on other people to build the bridge for you, and you probably won't get across it. And with that being said, build your own bridge. BYOB. You got that from me. Yes. Well, this has been your episode on the Confidence Igniter podcast. And I am so glad that you all came and stopped by and watched. And once again, to all of the mothers, yes, I am recording this on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, and go out and build your own bridge. Rewrite your story. The pen is in your hand. Well, please do not forget to subscribe. Please do not forget to like, and definitely, please remember to share. Until we meet again, have a wonderful supersized Sunday, walking into Monday. Yes. Have a great day. Bye-bye.